What is up, my cybernetic warriors? My name is Parallax Abstraction, and welcome back to Retro Flashback Plays Snatcher. So, when we finished off last time, we actually had just completed Act 2, and I decided to stop it right there because the acts usually have like a big sort of previously on segment when you start them up. So, and it turns out Act 3 is no different, so that's why we're sitting at the menu here. We haven't started it yet. One little programming note. I did look a little bit into what Act 3 involves, and there is a lot more combat in Act 3, and if you'll recall from the last couple of episodes, the combat in this game is not its strong suit and involves beating your head against a wall for a while. You also, as it turns out, can't save before you have to do all that combat, and if you fail one of the segments, you have to do them all over again, because entertainment. So just so you know, if we run into a similar situation like we did before where I have to keep doing them over and over again, I'll just cut out and cut back after I've completed it, because watching me do the same boring combat sequence over and over again is boring. So I'm gonna be doing that just so you guys are aware. But outside of that combat, Act 3 looks to be relatively short. So we may very well conclude this sucker today. So let's see what happens. Let's get our recall on, shall we? It's Sunday morning. I got my coffee here, so you may hear a little glug once in a while.
With the start of this year's Kyoto Summit just 3 hours away, the delegates from the participating countries are beginning to arrive at the conference center.
Okay. Conference center looks a lot like Junker
Of
headquarters.
domestic and international opinion, carried out just last week, shows that the vast majority of respondents favor a complete quarantine of Neo Kobe as a means to combat the risk of the Snatcher menace.
Oh dear. They want to wall us off, do they?
Now that the Chief's death has been confirmed, it won't be long before they strip us of our Junker authorization.
They will be deciding how to handle Neo Kobe at the summit in just 3 hours.
There are rumors that they're going to use nukes on the city to make sure the Snatchers are wiped out.
What?
That's ridiculous. Come on, this is the 21st century.
That may not be as improbable as it seems. The world's leaders are extremely concerned about the Snatcher problem.
The Chief was going to calm this hysteria in his speech at the summit, but that'll never happen now.
3 months ago, government pressure on Junker operations increased dramatically.
I hate to tell you, but a nuke is not the same as a quarantine.
Our own chief was snatched. It's not too surprising they don't want to trust us anymore.
I've heard that the Army and FBI are going to take over operations now.
That's correct.
The
That,
FBI is
too,
not
will be
a
officially
Japanese
decided in
organization.
3 hours' time.
3 hours, eh? Is there any way we can find their hideout in that time?
If we don't, we and everybody else in this city are finished.
As far as they're concerned, we're just like a cancerous tumor that has to be cut out.
We have to hit the Snatchers'
Well,
headquarters
that's
before
a
then.
dramatic way to talk
Gillian,
about it.
can you do it?
If we only knew where it was, I should be able to manage something.
Hitting their outposts like Queen's Hospital won't do any good. We have to find their main nerve center.
What about the memory of that Snatcher who was
Creepy.
impersonating the chief?
Just like the others, it was completely blanked. It's a form of self-destruct mechanism that they use.
That they use.
Wait a minute. Mental. What about tracing that video phone call from Jamie?
It was no good. The call didn't last long enough. Still, it definitely did
Lasted
come
a
from
while.
within the city.
Damn. Where are they hiding?
Gillian, can't you remember anything at all? Didn't Jamie say something that implied you were somehow connected to the Snatchers?
Nothing. I can't remember a damn thing. Metal, I want you to tell me everything you know about me. Why was I sent to Junker headquarters? Where did I come from?
Gillian,
Metal, the chief's dead. Tell me everything you know about me.
Yeah,
well,
it would be important by this point.
you see...
Metal!
All right. With the chief gone, you are the highest-ranking officer here.
You knew all along?
Of course.
Well, yeah.
Where were we rescued from?
3 years ago, you and Jamie were taken into protective custody in the Siberian Neutral Zone by the 17th Siberian Investigative Force. More precisely, You were discovered in
Fancy.
cryogenic sleep pods in an underground bunker near Moscow.
What?
Cryogenic sleep pods? You mean they were frozen?
This is a photograph of the bunker. There is no record of when you were placed
Why would
there.
you have that on
In
you?
addition, the third pod was empty at the time you were discovered.
There were
Uh-oh.
3 pods?
You were revived and taken into custody by the army. Apparently, as a result of the extended sleep, both of you suffered from complete amnesia.
Well, okay.
Another theory suggests your memories may have been intentionally erased. This is the only piece of evidence found at the site.
What? That's the photo.
That's Harry's picture. From
Yeah.
when he was a kid.
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
That's correct. Harry is Gillian and Jamie's son.
What?
It's been confirmed by DNA tests.
Harry? Harry was my son?
Using the information gained from
Mind
the photo, it was
blown.
established that you are Gillian Seed and your wife, Jamie Lorraine. Both of you are American citizens, born in the late 1960s.
What?
1960s?
What the balls?
In addition, both of you vanished without a trace in 1989.
I did.
There is no other information available about you after that.
I don't even.
1989.
Yes, you come from a world that's been gone for 50 years.
But what does that
What?
have to do with the Snatchers?
When the 17th Special Investigative Force was bringing the two of you out, there was an accident. Though the two of you were all right, most of the 17th was killed. One of them was a Snatcher. Of course, before their departure, they all underwent thorough examinations. So, if one of them was snatched,
It had to be somewhere in Siberia, right?
that's correct. And in order to attempt to determine the origin of the Snatcher, as well as your true identities, you were assigned to Junker headquarters. The hope was that exposure to the Snatchers would
Okay.
help you regain your memories.
Moscow.
I guess.
Years ago.
Almost everyone who was in Moscow at the time was killed in the catastrophe.
So Gillian and Jamie are the only living witnesses?
Harry. Harry was my son. Did he know?
No, it was highly classified information. He was never told.
I was never able to do anything for him.
Jeez.
Wait a minute, Gillian. Didn't Jamie say something about taking a boy hostage?
What?
That's right. They must know about Harry and are using him to threaten her.
We have to find their headquarters quickly.
We've only got 3 hours.
But he's
Gillian,
dead.
let's think this all through again. We may get some kind of a hint out of it.
You're right. There may be some clue in the way they're operating.
All right, let's go over what we know about them.
Well, I have to say, you know what? I get why people are high on the story of this game. I had several ideas of potential twists in my head. None of them were like that. That's a hell of a thing. I'll tell you what. It's pretty cool. Okay, well, I guess it's not doing our full-on recall thing, like it did in the last act, but oh well, we got the whole thing documented, don't we? Let's start finding out about this. Well, no, the Snatcher's weak point is a headshot, really, when you think about it. Yes. But they're working on fixing that. Well, I guess this is kind of our recall. It's not a direct recall, but... Oh, no, I guess it is. It's a shame it's all text. That's pretty funny. Sorry, guys. You might hear my cat yodeling in the background right now. I know he sounds like he's in pain, but he's not. This is just what he does sometimes. This. Wait, we're playing 20 questions? Well, not really the highway. It was like the subway tunnels. I guess not. Maybe the black taxis then, I guess? Okay. Listen, localized team, I know you got a hard job. Localizing a game from Japanese is no easy feat, but an underpass is not at all the same thing as a subway tunnel, just to let you know. That is not an underpass. That is a tunnel. An underpass is the thing where you go under a raised road. That's, yeah. It is very, very different. See, he even calls it a tunnel. That is not an underpass. I'm sorry, but certain things must be explained correctly. I missed that, but I'm guessing it's like what happens when snatchers are nearby, which is that you sneeze. Snow 9 is the cause of the sneezing. I don't know why we're doing this. We kind of like, maybe this is going to come in useful in the final encounter. I'm not sure. Just so you know, guys, I did, when I said before that I checked to see how Act 3 goes to find out about all the combat, I did find that out, but I don't actually know what happens. I haven't spoiled it for myself, so this is still gonna be somewhat of a surprise. I just wanted to see how much combat there was, and games like this do like to do things, mean things like make you do a bunch of combat with no saving, so I wanted to see if that was going to be difficult. Well, in theory, yeah. Unless that's what they want us to think. And accessible to the tube liner near the Ina River. All of them were related to the Soviet Union. Yes, they were. This is all Moscow. Well, that's where the catastrophe was, right? Homesick? I was gonna say, I don't think they would get homesick. It is all related to Moscow. Yeah, Russia is not a city. The base... What? I don't quite know what he means by that. Basis for their programming is Moscow? Oh. Why would they do that? Oh, I guess. And I presume they're upset that Moscow is basically a ruin now. Well, yeah, I mean, if you were making AIs that you were trying to mimic humans with, I could see that being relevant. That's something to do. We just want to go home, man.
In other words, this homing instinct thing of theirs has led them to set up their headquarters in some place that reminds them of home, or their creator.
What part of this city is like Moscow?
Moscow's really cold, right? They get a lot of snow, don't they?
Snow?
Yeah.
No snow has been recorded in Neo-Kobe in several years.
Well, then that's not it.
Wait. What about that pollen? That crystal bioengineered stuff, Snow 9.
Now that you mention it,
Yep.
wasn't it snowing on Jamie's video phone call?
Yes, it was.
That's right. Their
I noticed
hideout
that.
has to be somewhere close to the Ina River.
The Ina River
But didn't
flows
we
for
know that?
miles around here, Gillian. We could never search it all in time.
Gillian, let's look at a map of the areas investigated so far. This is an enlarged view of the southwest portion of the city around the Ina River. This
Ina
blue
River,
area
okay.
is that in which Snow 9 is present. Now I'll superimpose a chart of the abandoned tube liner tunnels. From this we can establish those areas with Snow 9, which are accessible by
I only
subway
see
tunnel.
one cross path there.
Damn. Nice try, but it's still too large. We could never cover it in 3 hours.
Don't give up so fast, Gillian.
It's like 2.5
What about
now.
that image of home thing we were talking about? Maybe there's some kind of geographic similarity. Maybe the same view can be seen or something.
I'll display a map of
Can be
Moscow
seen or something.
alongside.
It's weird. Huh.
What's this?
Clever.
Look, the rivers are exactly the same shape.
This
I
is the Moscow River over here.
don't think
It looks like
anything
we're
in
on
the
right
world is
track,
quite
Metal.
that
Show us the
duplicated,
location
but
that
who
Jamie and I
knows?
were picked up from.
All right, right here.
Metal, before the catastrophe,
dun.
what was at this location?
The headquarters for the entire Soviet Union, the Kremlin.
The Kremlin?
So they're based out of the
Snatcher said something
Kremlin.
about taking Jamie to their Kremlin.
Metal, what spot in Neo Kobe would match up with the location of Moscow's Kremlin?
That
Calculating. This is the spot. It's presently occupied by an old church. It's rather large, but reports indicate it's been abandoned for nearly 20 years.
And it's right in the middle of the Snow 9 and subway area.
That's it! That's their headquarters, their new Kremlin.
Gillian, let's go!
well
Wait,
then.
Gillian, I want to go with you.
Sorry, Mika.
Hey, I'm a junker too, you know.
I know, and you're a great one at that.
So take me with you then.
The audio
You head to the summit to warn the delegates.
traits have
They
changed
haven't
quite a
given
bit
up,
here.
you know.
The summit's in Kyoto. I'm not going to be the only one to run.
You've got to convince them not to use nukes on Neo Kobe.
We found
Which are
their
not the same
hideout.
as a
There's
quarantine,
no need now
FYI.
to sink the whole island.
Yes, but...
It's a tough job. Can you do it?
Okay, Gillian. I'll do what I can.
Thanks. Thank you, Mika.
Don't say it, okay?
Let's go, Gillian!
Well, I already did.
Gillian?
I love
Yes?
you, Mika.
What's wrong?
How about dinner sometime?
Dinner?
Yeah, you know, dinner.
Mika.
Not interested. I thought it would be nice, you know, to kick back, relax. It's Christmas after all.
Christmas, huh?
You know Jamie's still
I'll be
alive,
back by
right?
then.
My wife?
Gillian, we have to hurry.
That's a promise, right? I heard you.
Yeah. Okay. But I gotta go to church first.
I'll see you soon then.
That was kind of
Okay,
funny.
Metal. Let's go.
Romantic subplots. God, I was wondering if there was somebody worse than Aaron Sorkin at writing romance, and yeah, Kojima may have him beat. I just want to double check and make sure this thing hasn't been like friggin' tampered with or some shiz. Okay, well, he just answered that. Alright, time to save. We're heading into the bottom of the ninth. Sure, baseball metaphor, why not? Alright, let's do this. Once more onto the breach, gentlemen. I was hoping it would let me pick
I've
something else.
input the map data on the Kremlin's locations. Lift off.
You know what I'm curious about too? What happened to Jean-Jacques' daughter, the one who was hiding out in my apartment? I haven't really,
Configuration. Now gaining altitude.
I haven't gotten to go back and see her for a
Jamie,
while. What's going on
please
with
be
her?
safe.
Gillian, please keep in mind that we're working with a strict time limit.
A 50-year debt in 3 hours.
Also, yeah, Jamie's still alive, right? You might want to figure that out before you made a date with Mika.
Snow!
Just saying.
Snow 9, to be specific. We've entered the Snow 9 region. Please put on your breathing filter.
I was gonna
Direct
say-
circulation is dangerous.
Isn't that gonna
All right.
hurt? Isn't that gonna hurt
Radio
me?
transmissions will also be impossible from this point on. Understood?
Oh, now my dog's barking. This is good.
Now descending. Conversion to hover configuration
He
complete.
smells snatchers.
Gillian, we've arrived.
And we all know dogs don't like snatchers. Okay. Let's do this. Wow, that church looks an awful lot like the Kremlin. Yep. And then some. Okay, let's look around. You know, again, If you're going to maintain the building, you might give yourself away if you're trying to make it a secret entrance. Yep. I'm gonna say probably. It's, any large movement signals. Well, those friggin' insectors are not large. Well, if I have a mask on, that shouldn't be a problem. I'll make sure to tell the deadly skin-wearing robots about that. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm gonna save on a frequent basis here. I'm not sure at what point I'm gonna lose Metal Gear, so...
Alright, now opening the door.
What's wrong? Won't open?
I've scanned it, and it's not locked. It is probably rusted into place.
Not surprising. After all, our friends always go in and out through the basement.
You said the building was well
Let's
maintained.
push it together.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
And the Snatcher shoots you all in the head.
That got it.
Well, that announced it. Hello, everybody. We're here for some prayer and to find Jesus. Ooh, that's some creepy music. Snatcher Chapel? Snapple? Snapple? No. To their robot god. Portrait? Whoa. That dude looks very emo. Ew. Wait, what? Maybe? Kind of, sort of looks like him? No. Let me guess, it's Random's father. Random became a Snatcher bounty hunter because his father was evil and he needs to clean up the planet. I'm gonna guess that. I'm finding it very weird that Snatchers pray. But I guess, you know, if they're trying to duplicate human behavior, religious worship, sadly, I guess, is among them. Yeah, Modnar. Oh. Look at the word Modnar. Now look at it the other way. Yeah. That's kind of lame. But, yeah, now my theory was definitely correct. Yeah, I know what this is. Inhumanly so? Oh, there's another room. Okay. Huh. So we don't have any, so they haven't pieced together the backwards name yet. I'm smarter than the game is, for the first time, basically, ever that I've played it. What can I say? When it comes to adventure games, I am not the world's brightest or most patient individual. Alright, well, I guess there's nothing... Maybe I should investigate the picture one more time, just to make sure. Okay, I guess he's not gonna say nothing. This doesn't look like a church at all. Snatchers everywhere. Thankfully, I have tons of bullets to spare. They're all in sleep mode. Oh, Jesus. I didn't know it was that big a spot. Okay, well, let's look around. Yeah. I gotta say, for 16-bit art, those things are... God, they're creepy. Yeah, man. They're gender units, you know what I'm saying? Gender units. Okay, this is just a storage area. 23rd. Huh. Interesting. Siberian Investigative Force. I was curious about that. Okay. Why would there be, given that Russia is basically a nuclear hole now, why would there still be a Siberian Investigative Force to begin with? I don't quite understand that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, some of those I guess are Russian characters, aren't they? Okay. Well, we can continue back again, so we'll do that. Alright, moving forward. Something bad's gonna happen anytime now, I'm sure of it. Ugh. Well, this just keeps getting creepier and creepier. Oh, man. Alright, well, let's poke around here. Snatch process. So I thought, yeah, I guess not. I thought snatch, yeah, I guess the snatching is just when they get their skin put on.
This is where they fuse the artificial skin onto the Snatcher's endostructure. First, they adjust the size of the still skinless Snatcher to the size of the individual who is to be snatched. The Snatcher's overall shape and size can be adjusted by expansion or contraction of sizing rods.
Okay.
Their sex is controlled by gender units, which are installed at this point.
Yeah.
Then, the face is modified to match the intended victim by adjusting the size of the upper and lower jaw, cheekbones, temporal bones, and tooth alignment.
This seems
Just
awfully
like
complicated.
Gibson said, that means there are limits to the size of the people that they can snatch.
That's right. The limits of the mechanism mean that they can't snatch children, the elderly, or people who are very tall or heavy. And this is
Hey,
where
they
the
couldn't
artificial
snatch me.
muscle is attached.
Is it
Ugh.
organic?
No, it appears to be coated with a type of plastic gel capable of mechanical response. Like human muscles, it creates mechanical energy through chemical reactions. And this is where the artificial skin is attached. In order to prevent the synthetic cells, developed using biotechnological protein design techniques, from rejecting the inorganic material below, they attach it gradually over a number of days.
And this is the stuff that gets cancer if they stay out in the sun too long.
Finally, they attach body and scalp hair. The process involves transplant of synthetic hair follicles as well.
Them eyes,
so the hair will
man.
grow back
Ooh.
if it's lost.
What about scars or birthmarks?
It would appear that they make those adjustments at this point in the process, as they would for wrinkles to simulate age.
Awfully complicated process, geez. But I guess the thing with that is that it, I guess that's why they're trying to come up with this new process for basically making their own skin, so that, because, yeah, this must make advancing their numbers really, really complicated. But you make your own skin and you can build an army super fast. Okay, so I guess we... Oh. I guess they're doing that to... Okay, so there's a door and a terminal now. Okay, there's a doorknob there. Well, one would hope.
So this is where the whole thing begins. The endostructures arrive here from the Kremlin. Then they convert them into copies of their victims. And finally, they head out into the city using the old subway system.
With artificial skin maintenance being handled at Queen's Hospital.
But who's behind all this?
Gillian, look at this. There are some finished snatchers over here.
Now, there's one thing I don't
Get
get.
a load of this.
That guy on the left was awfully
US
fat.
President, the Prime Ministers of Japan and the UK.
Gillian, you're in here too.
What?
Figures. They were looking to snatch every VIP at the summit.
And the last junker, you. It definitely looks like they plan on moving out beyond Neo Kobe.
If
But
they
I'm
were
not-
to snatch every major world leader, they'd practically be able to control the planet.
I'm not dead,
Still,
though.
that's odd.
How did they
With
snatch
their
me?
fluid skin, pulling something off like that would really be difficult.
Chin said they had found the key to developing a perfect artificial skin. Maybe they've already produced it.
No idea. But the number of snatchers here makes it clear that they're up to something new.
Gillian, this is definitely their nest. We should destroy everything.
Not yet. Not until we found Jamie. Metal, how much time do we have left?
The summit should have begun by now. We don't have much time. And once our legal privileges are suspended, I won't be able to help. In fact, I'll be forced to restrain you.
I know. If the military wants to avoid nukes and
What?
goes for a surgical strike on this facility, what would they likely use?
Probably a phased particle beam from one of the attack satellites.
A phased particle beam, huh? That'll wipe this complex right off the map.
Yeah.
Everything, including the soil, will simply evaporate. The attack will leave just a large crater.
Metal, can you convince them to give me another hour? Even 30 minutes will help.
Understood. I'll try my best.
And I'll try to find
How are
and
you going to
rescue
do that
Jamie
when we're in an
time.
area full of Snow 9?
Can't transmit here due to interference from the Snow 9. I'll have to leave the area and then send the message.
All right, do it, Metal.
How's he going to do... Is
Gillian,
Metal going to drive the
don't
car?
forget, 30 minutes. You must get out before then.
I understand.
Gillian, I'm sorry I couldn't help you better.
Don't worry about it. I'll
weren't-
be able to move faster by myself
You
anyway.
weren't super
30
helpful
minutes should be
in this
plenty.
game.
Go, Metal.
Yes, sir. Don't forget, 30 minutes.
Couldn't I save first?
30 minutes? Oh, this is gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check. Let's take a look.
Damn it. That's really lame. Like, that it didn't allow me to save after all that investigating. Like, as soon as I select this, he doesn't go, hey, do you want to save first? Oh, God. Okay. Combat. Oh, God, and these things jump all over the place. Rapid fire! I am mashing this fire button like you wouldn't believe, son! Oh god, this sucks. Oh my god. I hate this so much. Oh, I hate... Why are they jumping around? I really hope I heal after this battle. Though I bet I won't because Metal's not around. Oh! That was brutal. Oh my god. Wow. Continue investigate? Did it say that last time? I don't know if it did. If this makes me do all that stuff again prior to when I saved, I'm gonna really be unimpressed. Okay, it's not. This is gonna make me keep going. So it looks like I can't... right, gotta draw the gun. So it looks like I can't save, but I can continue... I can just keep continuing, so that's good, because I don't plan to stop until I finish this, so... Alright, I'll try this a couple more times, guys, and then I'll come back later if I have to. Yeah, this combat is not fun at all. Yeah, this really sucks. Like, the dealing with the insectoids are bad enough to begin with, but now they leap around too, and like seemingly randomly. Yeah. The combat was definitely really in this game feels like something that was mandated by Konami and not something that Kojima wanted to do, because there could have been so many more interesting ways that they could have accomplished it, especially with the storage capabilities of the Sega CD. Like, yeah, the combat was really unnecessary. Like, even the combat in some more modern retro adventure games like Gemini Rue was better than this, and that was also pretty bad, but at least you had more control over it. It wasn't solely a shooting gallery. And like, now they're popping in so fast that there's no way to get them all. Okay, well, maybe I can. I just hate the fact that sometimes you press the button and it just doesn't shoot. Ugh. Yeah, this is really frustrating. Okay. One more try, and then I will bail out and come back afterwards. Yeah, this is really not good. Yeah, just the fact that it just doesn't reliably shoot every time you push the button is the worst part of it. At least if you could count on it, because that just makes it unfair. At least if you could count on it shooting every time, you could say that you just have to be better at it, but the controls are so sticky and unreliable. At least you don't have to reload, and you have unlimited bullets. So... if I didn't have unlimited bullets... Okay, I made it. Whew!
Whew. I wasn't ready for that. They almost got me.
Here's hoping I can continue past this point.
All right, let's open the next door.
If I have more combat, here's hoping I don't have to do the insectors again.
Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
Oh god! Oh god, you have to shoot so fast and land headshots now. Oh, this is awful. Now it demands precision. And they fire faster than insectors. Which is kind of weird. You'd think given the Insectors were the security-focused robots, that's not how it would work. Ah, damn it, I missed. Oh my god, how many are there? I mean, I get that we're in a Snatcher warehouse, but still, dudes. I'm gonna focus. Focus. I can do it. I can do this first time, boys. First time, boys! Yes!
Jeez, these guys are tough. Of course, I didn't exactly expect them to welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
Oh. Glad I was able to do that without having to stop the recording. I feel better. Was that designed to try to make me shoot out of fear?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
Yeah, but I got a date with
No,
Mika, so you
they
know.
won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
So don't complete it.
Skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened?
So-
Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help them with the skin development.
Well, I got an easy
They
way
said
for you
I
to
had
make this
help them
decision
because
now.
The professor was ill.
Your son is
Wasn't getting any
dead.
better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son.
Therefore, you don't
He's
have
been
to
living
work
on
with
his own
him.
now for 50 years.
Because he's dead.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Yeah.
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What?
You mean
This
random?
old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now.
This
just
old
to develop
man,
the
he's
Snatcher's artificial
Modner.
skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You really can't remember, can you?
Jamie, tell me. Tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian?
Yes.
It's all so awful.
The hell's
but if
going
you
on?
must know, I'll tell you.
Though we
Try
might
to remain calm, okay?
want to get out of the building because there's a surgical
56 years ago, you
satellite
and I were
strike
involved in a top-secret
coming.
Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies
Whoa.
were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race.
This is a
But not
Kojima
the
game.
Soviets.
That's
The
right.
conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military
This is probably
superiority.
going to be a very long
A horrible
PowerPoint
plan,
talking about how
something
evil
no one
war
else would
nukes
think
are.
of.
Because
At
it's a
that
Kojima
time,
game.
The countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic.
Jamie, there's
And
either,
that's
you
when
know,
that
a big
horrible,
satellite beam or
childish
nukes
plan was
heading this way.
launched.
We might want to get out of here and
that
then
was
tell
the
me the
Snatcher
backstory of
project.
the Cold War.
Replace your enemies' leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
That's right, Gillian.
Okay.
And to develop these robots,
Makes
they
sense.
assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world.
Communist cyber
Some of them were
impersonators?
even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You
What?
and I were members of that team, Gillian.
Little
It
on
was
the
a
nose, don't you
four-person
think?
team led by the late Professor Modner here. The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And
Ra-
for behavioral science and psychology,
Did he
you,
say
Gillian.
Elijah Modnar?
Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility
random
under the
Hajil?
Kremlin. At the time, the Glasnost and Perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it. Gillian, you were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6th, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Oh, man.
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
Random Hajil Elijah
That's
Modner.
Right, Elijah is alive. Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Not anymore, he ain't.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
Whoa. Listen to my
Who's there?
bassy voice.
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie?
Wait, what is...
Yes.
Why are there
And
pillars in this
Gillian.
lab? I'm confused. Why
It's
is there a
me,
throne?
Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Random?
What?
No. Not quite.
So you remember me, do you?
So Random
I
is
am
not
Elijah
his son?
Modner, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modner.
So who's Random?
I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah,
Yeah.
why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modner, he passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father? My father is dead?
What?
Elijah, what happened to you? The Elijah I knew could never do anything like this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you?
Of course you do. It's a Kojima game.
Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here.
What?
57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree. My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken. I saw something in you that I never felt with women of my
Kojima's
own
really going to
country.
make the entire
You
massive
warmed
world
my
catastrophe
cold,
the
young
fault
heart,
of the fact that a
Jamie.
woman was
You
too
opened
pretty?
me up, and I couldn't stop my
Because
feelings.
and inspired a
Elijah.
stalker? God, really?
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined.
Oh, I stole her from
You
him.
arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and
really?
Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Oh,
Harry.
look how pouty he is in the corner
Even
there.
then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father
I'm
tried
at
to have
this
me
wedding
removed
and
from
I'm
the project,
sad.
but I
Meh.
persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out.
Okay.
I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie.
You don't
And I
care
was
about your
to
country
lose
because you're not a
all of that,
politician? I don't know if that's how
everything.
patriotism works.
For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed.
Are they just gonna, like,
But
blow up
we
the building in the
still
middle of a
having
sentence or
trouble
something
with the
here? Because this is
artificial
really
skin.
taking a while.
The area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed
naturally.
was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Okay.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right. A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project, blowing up the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
Yep.
I moved all the materials
So he
and
did it.
records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter, and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. But not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned, it revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
But even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
What?
So everything went just as
So where did you
planned
get
it
that
then.
from?
Yes.
Since you woke up in
until
a
that
wasteland.
point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway.
Yeah.
I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How?
Permanent
How could you
on.
do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years,
Why wouldn't you
I
just
worked
kill them
alone in
both?
that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
Well, that's one word for it.
And then,
Evil's
3 years
another
ago,
one.
my research was finally completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative
Man,
Forces
this is
to
still
establish
going.
a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neo-Kobe City to be my experimental sample. Neo-Kobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
Whoa.
But your test
You just
revealed
take a stab at
critical flaw in your
Japan?
machine's artificial skin.
Yes,
Wow.
quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research
Kojima
for
insults
40
everyone.
years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past,
What?
it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak
Really?
creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science
Yeah,
advances,
because you're
or
freaking
how high
kidnapping
we set
people
our
and eating their
ideals,
skin.
we eventually begin
That's
to
not nothing.
suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal.
What?
I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, a firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
This is a very
You're
Metal
crazy if
Gear-like
you think
story.
people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the
He's
people
going to
have
replace the
longed for a
leadership
god
with one
to
that
lead
follows
them.
his methods,
As long as they give the people
but that looks
no
like humans,
reason
so
to
they'll
suspect them,
tolerate him.
then they can easily become
Interesting.
their gods. Indeed, a new race
As evil
of
plans go, that one is
super
pretty unique and cool.
We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
Okay.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
What if I just shoot you first?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
Uh-oh.
Random.
Wait.
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
But he's a... What?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility, And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers.
Oh, sirs.
This bioroid caused me serious
Interesting.
difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine.
Huh.
Haven't you
Interesting.
yet realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards.
Yeah, I figured that out like an hour and a half
How
ago.
like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself believes itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this,
He's got
we
proper
can
skin.
move to phase 2 of our plan, of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart.
Daywalker.
I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
You egomaniac. Do you think you can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
Oh,
But no
boy.
matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But
I don't disagree,
different.
but
I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
what up, Metal?
Metal!
Whoa!
10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius.
Why are
from
you
me will be
covered in
destroyed.
dynamite, though? And also,
Stop
whoops,
this
sorry, hit the mic.
foolishness now.
And also,
I will not have my research.
how are you
destroyed
controlling a
by
satellite
some
with Snow 9 in the air?
stuck pocket calculator.
Metal, what happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city. The military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
You insignificant mass of metal. You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
Oh man.
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of
Metal's
here.
gonna
And this
sacrifice
new
himself
artificial
for
skin
us.
has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you were the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Uh-oh. I got some combat. Oh dear.
Metal!
Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
What? How did... What?
What's that?
Is that random? No. What? How is he still a thing?
How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop
Fail
this
safe?
foolish...
Shut up.
Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off.
Random!
I've always hated
But
being used.
He's
Why don't
gonna
you watch
blow
the
stuff
final
up
act
anyway,
with me?
so kind of doesn't matter, does it?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will.
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
I'm no ordinary machine.
You must go! And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin!
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
Well, at least you're doing something useful.
Try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John.
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
This place is gonna be turned into a smoldering hole. There'll be no pieces
Thanks.
left.
Thanks, you two. Jamie, come on!
You're gonna blow the place up anyway. The Snatcher shouldn't have any reason to care that he's being held hostage.
Don't let her go. No!
You pathetic old fool. You don't even know how to love someone.
You stupid machine. What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back.
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
I still don't know how he's controlling
You
a
don't owe me
satellite
any
with Snow
thanks.
9 in the
Sorry
air.
to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3, 2, 1, here it comes!
Later, kid!
Uh-oh. Good night, sweet prince. That didn't look like a church. Did we miss and blow up a piece of the city instead? That would be unfortunate. Whoa. I presume this is the team that's going to go, flatten out the Kremlin.
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now.
But
Wait for me.
don't forget, I have to.
I want to be with you.
I got a
but
date with
first
Mika.
I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs.
Unless he's going to allow.
Jamie, when I get back,
Unless he's going to be allowed to have
let's
multiple
try living
ladies.
together again. What do you say?
13 Special Operations Squad and all Junker personnel. Report immediately for departure.
We'll be waiting for you, too.
Katrina! Mika!
Oh, there's Katrina.
You're here, too?
I was wondering what
You
was
better be
going on.
happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came. Let me introduce my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Huh?
What?
Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What?
I don't.
Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Oh, goodness. The whole Katrina thing was a little bit weird. Like, she got out, left her at my apartment, and then I kind of never talked to her again before now, but man, that was a hell of a cutscene. Still not as big as the one in Metal Gear Solid 4, but jeez. Has Katrina yet found out, too, that her dog is dead? Okay. Yeah, she has. Kind of. I don't know. Just about everybody in the Junker organization seems to have been somewhat inept. Except for, well, I haven't been great either, but... Okay, she does know that Alice is gone. I just keep talking, I guess? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, you're the one who said it. Jeez. Okay. Well, we hope. You'd think I would have gotten it back by now, since she explained everything to me. So what? Oh, I can talk to Jamie now. It's weird that you have, like, you're using the look option in order to talk to her, which is a little weird. Morality lesson. Talk to her again, I guess. Oh.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about Junker operations?
Well,
I suppose
we in the
this will
finale
end
here,
up
I
being our
guess.
last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
But
So
we're gonna
that
end the
means-
Snatchers, aren't we?
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than crime by humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too.
But if we nuke
So
the
when you get
factory,
back,
there aren't
you'll
going
get
to be
meet the
really
new
many
head honcho.
left, are there?
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can come back to.
Second lieutenant. I should be the chief, shouldn't I? After all, I killed the chief. Yeah, for real.
Whatever you do, just come home safe.
Weird they left those
okay?
two sentences
When you get back from
unvoiced.
this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Don't worry.
I'm
I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, almost forgot.
as the wife
Of course,
is
I
standing
want to
right
spend
beside
some
me.
private moments with my wife too, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong, Jamie?
Gee, I can't imagine.
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
Oh, this
I know,
hurts.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait! Wait for me! Take me with you, please!
What?
You? Metal?
It
Yes,
looks like a
sir.
Genesis.
We didn't have a good frame to work with, so this is just a temporary body.
Oh,
Just call me
Kojima.
Metal Gear, Sega CD for now.
So they found your memory
Kojima.
chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh?
Even the soil was turned to vapor,
Wait a
though, he
second.
said. How did
I've
that
heard
work?
Sneeze somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
Hurry up and get on
Oh,
board.
boy.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
At least Kojima does have a sense of humor, sort of, I guess. Oh, that does not animate well. That's pretty hilarious. That's a good animated GIF opportunity right there. And into the sunset we go. Off to nuke the Kremlin. You know, just another day in as life as a junker.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict.
Uh-huh.
The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts.
Okay.
This conflict has just begun.
Well, not really, since there's no sequel to this game. Well, there you have it, guys. 9 videos and Snatcher is complete. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with me while I've done this. I'm curious what you guys thought about it. I'll be honest with you, I'm glad I played this. I think it's cool to have finally experienced it, and I actually think the story was kind of cool in a Kojima-esque sort of campy radio play sort of way. I definitely see why this game has a lot of historical, is considered historically important by a lot of people. I actually don't know how well this held up as a Let's Play because, well, a game like this, I don't know how well it's aged. It's a neat game to be sure, but a game that's largely interacting with menus in certain sequences, I don't know if that's really all that interesting to watch. But I hope you guys enjoyed it for sure. Given that friggin' ridiculous, like, 40-minute end cutscene there that was almost all voice, I now see why this game doesn't have a lot of actual CD music in it. They must have spent all the space on friggin' voiceovers. But you know what's cool? Voice acting, especially in the dawn of the CD-ROM era, was usually absolutely horrendous and cringeworthy, and this stuff wasn't bad. I mean, it was very, you know, played up and such, but that's not... it was done... I think with intent, you know, like I said, I refer to this as a radio play, and it kind of feels that way. It was actually really, really good, all things considered in that regard, but yeah, I don't know if this game has aged super well. I can also definitely see why it probably didn't sell very well. Well, I know it didn't sell very well back in the day, because this is not the type of thing you saw, especially on North American consoles very often. The visual novel thing was and still is actually fairly popular in Japan, but it was not very big in North America. But I'm glad this got made and that they gave it a shot anyway. There's definitely some plot holes, definitely some weird continuity things, definitely some very weird localization things in terms of the text and especially the jokes. And some of the puzzles, like having to do the facial reconstruction thing, was just ridiculous. That would have taken so long. Oh yeah, Metal Gear was voiced by a lady, wasn't it? It would have taken so long to do that puzzle on its own without a FAQ. I am pleased I didn't have to consult a FAQ very often for this game. I tend to get frustrated with adventure games and consult FAQs fairly soon. But yeah, this was definitely interesting. The combat in this was an absolute waste of time. That was utterly brutal. It was really frustrating. There wasn't very much of it. It was really frustrating. It controlled badly. It really served no purpose. Like I said multiple times, it really feels like that was something that maybe was mandated to put in and not something that actually needed to be there. To be honest, maybe it would have played better with the light gun. I can't imagine, given that light guns are not very precise, with how quickly those enemies came, I can't imagine it would have been any easier with a light gun. It probably would have been way harder, in fact. But at least you didn't have to reload your gun or anything, so you could just kind of, you know, mash the button and pull it off. But, yeah, I don't know. It's, man, that Ray Van Steen guy gets around in this game. I think it's still pretty cool, though. And I enjoyed it, but like I said, I'm curious what you guys think. The next title that I'm going to play is definitely not going to be something like this. Probably going to be something a little more action-packed with a little more room for interpretation, because I didn't like just having the cutscenes play without me talking over them, but at the same time, I don't want to talk over the cutscenes all the time. So in a more action-focused game, hopefully it allows me to commentate a little more fluidly, but I hope you guys did enjoy this. Please let me know what you thought, and also if you have any other ideas for games you'd like me to cover, either for this show or for the regular Retro Flashback show, let me know. I don't take requests directly, but I look for ideas all the time for sure. And if you like what you saw in this series, please consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel, or even leaving a comment. It all helps quite a bit. I've been working hard to try to get my channel a little bit more attention, get it a little bit more noticed, and well, that's what makes YouTube promote you more. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, please consider doing that. It just takes a second, and it really does help me out an awful lot. But yeah, that is Snatcher, guys. I will be back in the not too distant future with a different game for you. I'm gonna be working on tweaking my recapture setup a little bit more, see if I can make things work just a little bit better. But yeah, that is the end, I guess. So thank you guys all very much for watching, and well, I will see you next time. Take care, guys.